Okay, welcome back. Hope you like this next story I have for you. Okay, I'm a young officer working patrol, uniform patrol, and we get a radio call to assist motor officers in transporting a DUI, someone driving under the influence. As you know, motor officers can't transport them because where are you going to put them? Okay, so we get there. There's a car all wrecked. There's a telephone pole kind of sheared off. There's a very large gentleman sitting here handcuffed. He's the suspect, obviously. And so, since I'm the passenger officer, I talk to the officers. So they tell me, yeah, it's routine transportation. Okay. So I get him in the car. In those days, no cages. So he goes in the back seat with me. I'm behind the driver. My partner's driving. We're on our way. As soon as we take off, he asked me, officer, can I go to sleep? I said, sure, no problem. So I fill out a little card. He's sound asleep. That's fine. No have to worry about listening to him whine or anything like that. So we're on our way to the jail. Get to the jail, park in the back. I get out. I walk around the car, open the door, reach in. Come on, sir, let's go. Come on, you gotta go. Let's go. Come on. Nothing. Okay. So I reach down, grab his wrist. I reach around. I've got my ear to his face. I reach up here. Nothing. So now I panic. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I said, I got a man in my car. He might be dead. Ah. So I run around. I run up the ramp. I got to get my gun in the locker because it's a jail facility. I get that out. I buzz the door. Let me in. I go in and I go, Doc. And there's a doctor there with a nurse that he handles all kinds of people that need to be minor stuff. So this doctor was probably graduated last in his class. He's not in any hurry to do anything. I go, Doc, he goes, calm down. What is it? I said, I got a guy in the car, transported. He may not be breathing. There's something wrong with him. At this speed, this is what he does. He gets his coffee. He tells the nurse, let's go. And he starts walking like this. And I'm like a mosquito. I go, the doctor. He goes, we'll get there. We walk along. And I'm like, okay. So down the ramp we go. Gets to the car. My partner's standing there. Puts the mug on the top. Reaches in. Does the neck. Reach around. Does the wrist. Stethoscope around. The stethoscope. Puts it over his shoulder. Gets his coffee. Says, officer, you might want to call your supervisor. This man's dead. Oh my gosh. I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to get sued. I got a dead guy in the car, handcuffed. They probably thought I beat him. I mean, who knows what they're going to think. I'm a young officer. Oh my gosh. Okay. So tell my partner, okay, I got to go call people. So I go inside. I run the buzzer. I go inside. There's a jail sergeant in there. Sergeant, use your phone. He said, what happened? I said, well, got a guy in the car. Doctor said he's dead. I have to call my supervisor. Now, all you people that want to be supervisors, you look to other supervisors, or want to be, you look at supervisors for kind of supervisory opinions to control and just to be a professional. I thought, okay. This sergeant looks at me and says, well, what'd you guys do to him? What? Nothing. I said, well, just give me the phone. So, gives me the phone, call my field sergeant versus an inside sergeant. This guy just, great guy. He goes, what happened? Stand by, don't do anything, put us in the yellow tape, and we're good to go. Great guy. Okay, fine. So I go downstairs, tell my partner, okay, this is what we have to do. So we put some yellow tape out around the car. And of course, this is not just, we're not the only ones there. There's other police cars coming and going. So it doesn't take a genius for other officers to pull up and look over and go, they got a guy in the car, they got yellow tape out. This guy's dead, okay? So we're standing there waiting. So make a short story long, a lot of people show up. You got Internal Affairs Division, because they're going to see if we did something to him. The detectives that handle dead bodies show up. The coroner's office show up, and there's my sergeant, my lieutenant. Everybody's here, and so we're separated. They do that on purpose to hear the stories and make sure they jive. Well, there's no stories to jive. This is the truth. So we tell them everything that happened. They're satisfied. As we're talking, the bodies are being taken away. So my supervisor says, hey, you guys, don't worry about it. Everything's fine. Okay. No big deal. Well, he's a 20-year sergeant. I'm a very young officer. I'm thinking I'm gonna go to jail here. I have no idea what's going to happen. So 2 weeks we get a subpoena, and it's a coroner's inquest. So I go to my supervisor. That supervisor, he says, don't worry about it. I'll go with you. It happens all the time. They're just going to report the coroner's, not decision, but it's what he found out here. I'm not a college graduate, and give you conclusions and all that good stuff. Don't worry about it. Okay, so we get there. Well, there's a lot of police there because the family's there. And they want to sue the police department, and they're looking to the guys that did their father, and it's us in their eyes. We walk in, my partner and I walk in, and they're looking at us, those evil eyes, and I'm with my supervisors, and and the district attorney's there because, you know, there's a death, and I mean, it's almost like a court trial, but it really isn't. It's an inquest. Okay, so we're sitting there. So the motor officers explained what they had, because they have to be there, and then I walked up and gave my testimony as to what I did, who I contacted, and then the doctor was there. Everybody that was involved in this thing are there. Okay, so and of course, while I'm up there, I'm getting these eyes. All these eyes are looking at me, you know, like I did something to them, and I'm looking back like I did nothing. Okay, but they don't know that. So after about an hour of this, the coroner comes out, gets on the stand. Everybody's listening. He's the main guy. And he basically reports that the gentleman was driving an old car. Now, like you young people, you don't know about this, but back in the day, the steering columns were solid steel. Nowadays, all of them are collapsible. You get in an accident now, and the steering wheel's collapsed down, and you don't get that impact on your chest. What you get now is an airbag. Well, he had an old car, hit that pole, and that steering wheel hit him right dead in the chest, broke a bunch of ribs, and it caved in. And no one could have known that because he's wearing a big shirt, he's a heavy guy, and so it punctured his spleen and a bunch of other things in there the doctor came out with. And while he's sitting there, he's slowly internally bleeding. And we put him in the car, and we have no idea he's hurt like that. And so when he wound up at the jail, he had basically drowned in his own blood. Okay, he drowned internally. So he gives that report, and he says that the responsibility is the accident, not the officers. They've checked them over for any kind of police bruises, in other words, for beatings and slapping or whatever that we may have done to him, which we didn't. All he found was a very large circle, a black and blue implosion diagram that he showed on the screen, that everything had gone in, including the bones, and it basically, when the bones broke, it cut everything on the inside. Okay, so that's how he died. So man, it was like, am I happy about that? And so that was one of my little grisly stories, and I thank you, and I'll see you next time.